Let's be honest, have you ever watched an NFL game and thought, if I had to tackle that guy, I'd just fake an injury? Yeah, same here. Football is already a brutal sport, but some players take that intensity to a whole new level. These are the men opponents feared lining up against, the ones who could make 250-pound athletes rethink their career choices. Welcome to our channel, where today we're diving deep into the 10 scariest players in NFL history. The ones who didn't just play football, they terrorized the field. So buckle up. By the end of this video, you might just start double-checking your front door, because these legends didn't just hit hard, they hit like a nightmare. Lawrence Taylor, the human earthquake. Every NFL list of terrifying players starts and ends with one man, Lawrence Taylor. In the 1980s, quarterbacks prayed not to see him coming. He wasn't just fast, he was feral. Taylor played linebacker for the New York Giants, but he moved like a wild animal hunting prey. Offensive linemen said they could feel the ground shake when he blitzed. Coaches had to design entire new playbooks just to slow him down. In one infamous hit, he broke Joe Theismann's leg live on Monday Night Football. It wasn't intentional, but it showed how devastating Taylor could be. He redefined the linebacker position forever. He didn't just sack quarterbacks, he scared them before the snap. Dick Butkus, the meanest man alive.
Well, it depends what films you're looking at.
Line up in at 56, Stack, Baker, Burns, Blitz. Let's go now.
If intimidation had a face, it would look like Dick Butkus. Playing for the Chicago Bears in the 1960s and 70s, Butkus didn't just tackle people, he detonated them. Opponents said his eyes looked like two pieces of cold steel. His tackles were bone-crunching, his trash talk was legendary, and his reputation made even the toughest running backs hesitate. In an era where the game was already rough, Butkus turned every down into a street fight. He once said, "I'd like to think my best hits border on felonious assault." And honestly, no one disagreed. Ray Lewis, the general of fear.
11-game winning streak, and they win the Super Bowl and the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
When Ray Lewis took the field for the Baltimore Ravens, you could feel the stadium's energy change. The man didn't just lead a defense, he led a movement. Lewis played with raw emotion, screaming before every snap like a warrior about to storm a castle. His tackles echoed through the stadium, and his speeches could send chills down your spine. He studied opponents like a detective, waiting for one mistake before he exploded. Even the biggest players didn't want to meet him head-on. He was the reason quarterbacks rushed throws, and running backs accidentally tripped before the line of scrimmage. Reggie White, the minister of pain.
You know, that'll happen a lot when you're blocking Reggie White. Reggie White is the best defensive lineman in the league.
Reggie White was called the Minister of Defense, and not just because he was an ordained minister. On the field, he was a storm. He'd grab a 300-pound lineman and toss him aside like he was made of paper. He played with power, faith, and fury. His hump move, a signature technique where he lifted opponents off their feet, was so powerful that even today's stars try to copy it. White didn't curse or talk trash, but when he lined up across from you, you didn't need words. His eyes said enough. "I'm about to ruin your day." Jack Lambert, the Toothless Menace.
Jack! I had come all the way from Mexico to see you, man!
He dipped in, went back outside, was around the corner before I even got off the block.
Jack Lambert looked like a nightmare that crawled out of a football field. Literally, the man had no front teeth. As the middle linebacker of the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary steel curtain defense, Lambert was pure chaos in shoulder pads. He weighed only 220 pounds, but he hit like a truck. Quarterbacks described him as psychotic in the best way possible. And when he smiled that toothless grin after a tackle, opponents knew they were in trouble. Lambert once said, "If I wasn't playing football, I'd probably be in jail." The scary part, everyone believed him. James Harrison, built like a tank.
James Harrison, here's the kid from Kent State who replaced Joey Porter.
You know those players who seem too strong to be real? That's James Harrison. At 5 feet 11 inches, he wasn't the biggest linebacker, but his strength was the stuff of NFL legend. He benched over 500 pounds, squatted 700, and once returned an interception 100 yards in the Super Bowl, then refused to breathe heavily afterward.
Harrison has his first NFL sack.
His hits were so violent they got banned under new NFL rules. Harrison didn't play dirty, he played dangerously well. And if you made the mistake of talking trash, you'd find yourself eating turf before the second quarter. Mean Joe Greene, the Iron Wall.
Hey, Cleveland, how you like us now?
They called him Mean Joe for a reason. The leader of the Steelers' steel curtain, Joe Greene turned defensive line play into an art of intimidation. He was massive, fast, and mean, the triple threat no one wanted to face. He once threw an opponent out of the huddle just for breathing too close. And yet, off the field, he was polite and kind. But the second the whistle blew, that switch flipped. Mean Joe made offensive linemen question their life choices. Even legends like Roger Staubach admitted that facing him was like running into a parked car at full speed. John Lynch, the silent enforcer. John Lynch wasn't the biggest or the loudest, but he was one of the most feared. A safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Denver Broncos, Lynch had a simple rule. If you caught the ball near him, you paid for it. He hit so hard that teammates called him the executioner. But what made him terrifying was his calmness. He didn't yell. He didn't flex. He just hit you, helped you up, and then did it again on the next play. Quiet, deadly, unstoppable. Ronnie Lott, the finger sacrifice. You know someone's scary when they cut off part of their finger just to stay in the game. That's exactly what Ronnie Lott did. In 1985, after smashing his finger in a tackle, doctors told him he needed surgery. He told them, just take it off. That's not football, that's gladiator stuff. Lott was the soul of the 49ers dynasty, known for bone-jarring hits that could knock helmets off. Wide receivers said they'd rather drop a pass than get hit by Ronnie Lott. That says it all. Ndamukong Suh, the modern-day monster. In today's NFL, few names spark fear like Ndamukong Suh. A 6 feet 4 inches, 300-pound defensive tackle who moves like a running back, Suh built a reputation for playing right on the edge of control. His hits were brutal, his intensity unmatched, and his eyes, well, they told you everything. Suh doesn't just want to sack you, he wants to erase you from the highlight reel. Even as the league tried to tone down dangerous play, Suh stayed old school, mean, disciplined, and hungry. These men weren't villains, they were forces of nature. Every time they stepped on the field, they reminded the world that football isn't just about skill, it's about courage. So here's a question for you. If you had to pick one of these monsters to tackle you, who would it be? Go ahead, drop your answer in the comments. Just remember to stretch first. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane of fear and football, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that hit just as hard as these legends.